So, who are the best unranked fighters in every weight class in the UFC? Well, today we're going to be working that out. I've got a fighter who I think is the best unranked fighter within every weight class around the screen, and I'm going to drag and drop them into their weight class and explain why I believe they're there. I'm MMA Tizzer. Welcome to the video. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And then without further ado, let's get right into this. Starting off with flyweight, we have Tatsuro Taira, and I just checked to make sure this guy isn't ranked at flyweight, and thank God he isn't, because I would have no idea who else to put, but he is the best in my opinion. And this guy's jiu-jitsu is absolutely phenomenal. He's super young. I think he's 23 or 22. He's good on the feet. He isn't clueless. He's got good stand-up. He's very diverse on the feet. He mixes it up well. He isn't very one-dimensional and basic. His wrestlings are good, and when he takes you down, it's over for you. Unless you have really good jiu-jitsu, you're done, you know what I mean? It's over. He's just going to latch up a sub. He's very creative. He does crazy submissions. He's always threatening you, top, bottom. It doesn't matter. He's trying to basically get performance of the night bonus every single time he goes out there. And he's got a fight this weekend, and I'm pretty sure if he wins that one, he'll be ranked. So yeah, Tatsuro Taira, basically definitely the best flyweight prospect maybe. So yeah, keep an eye on him. We move on. Bantamweight. This one was more tricky. There wasn't as clear-cut one. Bantamweight's kind of all their good prospects are already ranked. So we went for Davy Grant. And is Davy Grant a great fighter? No, he isn't. You know, he's good. Okay. He'll beat some of the guys not as good as him, but he'll lose to some of the ranked guys. And if it shows in his record, you know, he recently beat Rafael Sunsao by a crazy submission. So that was cool. And he has picked up a few good wins. He's beat a lot of good people. I looked back for his career, and he's actually got a lot of good names under his belt. He beat Marlon Vera about 4 years ago or something like that, a long time ago. But then he did recently lose to Marlon Vera, so you know that kind of knocks him down a bit. But to beat Marlon Vera in the first place, you have to be pretty good. So that's why he's there. Yeah. Davy Grant, not much else to say about him. He is old, so you know he's probably going to be in the decline. But until then, we'll enjoy it while it lasts. We move on. Featherweight, Lerone Murphy. Lerone's undefeated, so you know that in itself is pretty promising. He's 31, so he'll be in his prime as we speak. Do I ever think he'll be a contender? No, I don't. I think he will beat a lot of these light guys. I think he'll be a good gatekeeper. He got a pretty impressive knee finish recently. That was like a year or two ago. He's good on the feet, and when he gets taken down, this is why I'm saying he's underrated, right? Because when he gets taken down, he doesn't panic. We've seen it. He's fought a lot of guys who are good wrestlers, who get takedowns on him, and he doesn't do anything stupid, doesn't give up his back, doesn't try and get up and gas out. He just plays his cards right, and usually actually ends up beating these guys by outboxing them on the feet, outstriking them. So he's a pretty good striker. Pretty well-rounded, obviously. You know, he doesn't have the best wrestling, but it's better than a lot of these guys. He doesn't get dominated on the ground. And yeah, I can get why he's undefeated. He seems pretty tricky to beat. Got a few finishes, but he's mostly a decision fighter, so that's why he's there. We move on. Lightweight. Thiago Moises. Now, Thiago Moises probably could have put a pretty big winning streak together, but the UFC put him in some pretty hard matchups. He beat two guys, and then they gave him Islam Makhachev. So that's pretty harsh. Obviously, it was still a prospect fight for Islam in his career. But, you know, we knew how good Islam was since the start, more or less. And Thiago Moises is obviously, that's like a nightmare matchup because Islam Makhachev is just one of the best grapplers of all time. So, you know, Thiago's good at grappling, good jiu-jitsu. You know, he's got a few rear naked choke finishes. And this guy does have some questionable losses, which is why I never think he's ever going to make it as a serious lightweight. But he'll beat guys, you know. He'll beat decent guys. He put up a good fight in the Islam fight. You know, he did pretty well. I mean, he still got finished, I know, but is what it is. So, respect to Thiago Moises. He's pretty good. And, yeah, I think he'll stay around He might end up in the rankings if he can put a win streak together. But I don't think he beats many top lightweights. We move on. Also, I'm pretty sure he might have a win over Jalen Turner. We move on. Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland's biggest flaw is obviously his grappling is absolutely terrible. You know, that's the worst part of his game undoubtedly. But his striking's pretty good, you know. His striking's pretty good. It's definitely top 15 welterweight level. I feel like he chins a lot of guys in top 15. as long as they don't grapple him. But, he's got really good power, he's got a chin, and his cardio isn't terrible. His cardio is good, okay? So when you put that together, you've got a pretty good fighter, but the problem is he can never beat a wrestler. He never will beat a wrestler, They'll just take him down repeatedly. I mean, we saw it in middleweight against Vittori. I know he knocked out Jacare Souza off his back, which is impressive, but, it just shows you that he does struggle getting back to his feet. So that's his weakness. But when he's standing and banging, he's basically got a 50-50 chance of beating them because he's got good power. Almost lost to Santiago Ponzinibbio, but I thought he'd win that fight, and he did. He came back, showed his heart, and he knocked out Santiago in the third round. So fair play to him. You know what you're getting. He's a decent striker, but he's going to get destroyed by any wrestler. The classic UFC striker nowadays. But yeah, that's why Kevin Holland's there, 170-pound welterweight. More success at welterweight, I do believe. Middleweight, a lot of those guys are just going to be happy to hold you down. But I feel like at middleweight, more people are coming to stand and bang, which definitely suits him more. So, that's why he's there. And also, I think he's a bit undersized for middleweight, I'd say. So anyway, yeah, we move on. Middleweight. Anthony Hernandez. This guy's good, he's a good wrestler. I think he beats a lot of ranked guys, especially considering how terrible middleweights are. This guy's got good cardio, which basically no middleweights do. Like even Dricus du Plessis, who's a top 5 middleweight, doesn't have good cardio. And he can get takedowns, If this guy gets a takedown, he'll just basically lie on top of you, gas you out, and then try and find a finish in the later rounds. And it works, especially at middleweight. People can't seem to defend takedowns, and this guy's got a good pace. So even if they do defend takedowns early, they gas, and then they get submitted. So yeah, obviously he beat Edmund Shabazian recently because Edmund's terrible at stuffing takedowns and he has no gas tank. So it's pretty nightmare matchup for Edmund. And Anthony Hernandez, he isn't clueless on the feet. He's okay on the feet. Will he get pieced up by top middleweights? Yes, he will. But can he grapple top middleweights? Probably. There's a lot of them he probably can grapple, especially the ones with no cardio. So yeah, that's why he's there. He can get a lot of fluke wins in the middleweight division because it's absolutely talentless until you get to the top 3 guys. But that's why he's there. We move on. Light heavyweight. Kennedy Nchukwu. I think this guy's pretty good. How is this guy a light heavyweight? I have no idea. He's literally built like a heavyweight in every way. Biggest weight bully I've ever seen. But fair play to him for cutting weight. Must be awful for him. So But this guy's really strong. His striking's decent. He can grapple. And he's just insanely strong as well. So he just powers his way out of this decision. If he's in a bad position, he can generally just get up out of it because he's that strong and generally always bigger than his opponent. He's always got a power advantage over his opponent. Is he a bit chinny? Yes, he did get knocked out by nothing once, so I do remember correctly. So that is a bit suspicious, getting knocked out by absolutely nothing. But power, basically dangerous anyway, This guy's dangerous anyway. The only place this guy isn't dangerous is when he's lying on his back, okay? But any other wrestling exchange, he's dangerous. Obviously on the feet, he's at his most dangerous with the power. He can just swing crazily and get finishes. So yeah, that's why he's there. Can beat a lot of ranked light heavyweights, I think. He's got a matchup coming up. I think he's absolutely going to skull Jacob. So yeah, he's going to skull him, finish him in the first round probably. And RIP Jacob. But Jacob's a small light heavyweight. This guy's destroying you. We move on to our final person on the list, Marcos de Lima. This guy's alright, okay? I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say he's good. I just think the heavyweights are really bad outside of the rankings. What's confusing to me is that I'm pretty sure this guy's smaller than Kennedy, but he just can't be bothered to cut because Kennedy's more muscly and in shape. He's just overweight, let's be honest. But he can box and he can kind of grapple too. So he's going to beat a lot of guys just being able to do that because I don't know whether you've noticed, but a lot of heavyweights don't really take the sport seriously that aren't ranked. So naturally, he's just going to beat them. This guy's got a matchup against Derek Lewis. I think he's probably going to knock Derek Lewis out because he has boxing. Derek Lewis doesn't really have boxing, guys. Let's be honest. He doesn't have boxing. He just has power, He just lands bombs. And honestly, I think Derek Lewis just doesn't care about the UFC anymore. I think he just wants to retire. I think this will be his final fight when he gets finished by this guy. But, will this guy ever be a good ranked prospect? No, he'll get beaten by any good ranked heavyweight. Tom Aspinall would destroy this guy within a round. Sergey Pavlovich would do the same. All these guys would absolutely finish him. Marcin Tybura would take him down, you know what I mean? So, yeah, all right, but compared to a lot of guys in this list like Tatsuro, who's very promising and could beat a lot of ranked guys, or, Kennedy, who could also beat a lot of ranked guys, or maybe even Anthony Hernandez, this guy ain't got a future like that, and he's old as well. So, he ain't going to be in the UFC for too long. Probably going to beat Derek Lewis, and he beats basically any unranked heavyweight, more or less, that I can think of. But, yeah, so that's heavyweight. There you go. There you go, Marcus. You got a ranking. But that is the video, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers, so if you do subscribe, I'd hugely appreciate it. And leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment down below who else I should have added to this list. Obviously, everyone's got different opinions. And leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.